You need to loosen the bolts without unsettling it. That's it. The tug twister's loose. Let's hope it turned the grabbing hand into a helping hand, too. It's flat out. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. He believed the tug twister would do the trick, but now realizes brute force won't do the trick. You need something slick. He agrees that it's an option if you want to break stuff, but in this case you want to keep things intact so it won't leak once you get under surf. He says the lid should open if you sprinkle grease it. Problem is, he's all out. He knows his old friend Choo Choo always keeps his grease sprinklers well filled. He should have an extra that you can borrow. He stresses that you should come back as soon as you've retrieved the grease sprinkler. The merc... Let's see. You need to swivel the globus's bearings. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Wheel the control box handles to buzz the wire. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Wired up and ready to go. Hat looking sort of good. Choo-Choo knew you would make it to him one day. All you had to do was follow the steel path. Claims rails are like rules. If you follow them the way you're supposed to, everything good in life can roll your way. Says you followed the rails to where you need to be, but tracks have switches in them too. The question is then, will you keep on the same track or look for a way to hit that switch? He thinks you're on a dark path right now, but there's no reason you can't find a wheelhouse and get yourself turned around. Whichever way you go, he wants you to know that the rails never steer you wrong. Stick to them and they always bring you right to where you're meant to be. Wants to know if you've ever regretted taking one track in life instead of another. Likes your sureness, the way you keep at it like a chug-chug with no... Feels like the world's on a run-up. Says the world might have lasted longer if you hadn't stomped on the... Thinks you shouldn't work with the Jagni. They once tried to bolt one of their masks to his face. They did an awful job of it. Took forever to get those bolts out. But let's not get... Says he's surprised to see anyone this far out. But sometimes the wrong train does take you to the right station. As you can see, he didn't plan to make a stop here, but now that he had to, he's really happy to see you. He says his name is Choo-Choo. He's been off track since the world started dying, but he's trained his mind to stay positive regardless of the situation. Thinks that's fine, but there's no path in this world that's not been already made. He's convinced the tracks are like... This time, though, he was sidetracked and needs a new wing nut to get back on track. Wing nuts are easy to find, as they're fitted on any... Says he knew you would, like he knows the way the rails run. That's some sharp wood scrap there. Watch for splinters. What a blow! Break it down. You're bruised. The Wing Nut Chug Tunnel. It goes on forever. smock. You already missed the sky, don't you? Fired up. Whoa, smell that? Biohazard nearby. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Night falls like a giant around here. Choo-Choo says he knew you'd come through. If someone makes a stop at your station, it's for a good reason, but he understands no one gets their tracks greased for free. He'd be happy to part with his spare grease sprinkler, as he believes it's a great fit for any of your business that needs to be unstuck. He keeps it safe in a box on the handcart, in case of emergency. It's on the cart. He wants to keep it close by. In general, you won't have much time to act in case of an emergency. Choo-Choo says you should help yourself to the grease sprinkler. It's a versatile tool from the bygone, a last of its kind, so don't let it go to waste. He's convinced you'll put it to good use, as there are lots of stuckies out there that need greasing to open. Says he's glad to see it in good hands.
Is it just me, or is that just wonderful, Dove?
That's not freedom. It's being lost.
How can you be lost?
You should get lost.
Choo-Choo says he can't wait to get out of this place. So you shouldn't worry about smashing up the box. Choo-Choo has no use for it now. Choo-Choo says he feels strongly about helping his next, just like you did for him. He's convinced there was a bigger reason you met. Sometimes the wrong train will take you to the right place. He believes you've got what it takes to make a difference. He's witnessed it himself. Figures everyone chooses their own path. The longer you ride the rails, though, the easier it is to travel with friends. Choo-Choo's thrilled you found the Ark. Just imagine how much faster than a chug that thing must be, and no rails needed. Bets it could fly circles around any chug yard. Makes him dizzy to think about it. With the world ending and all the chugs going with it, it's fun to think about what hopes you wonders.
So what we have here is someone looking for a way out if everything fails.
What really happens when you make a...
Let's agree.
But it's hard...
Regardless...
Hopes you figure out someone better to ride the Ark with you, if that's possible. Choo-Choo says he's ready to pack up and leave. Says you should take... The tribes...
Alikan rato kaltendon rico inni ameri.
Wiz says that there's no plan to confront the Merc Puff until the octopod is properly armed. He's happy to tell you that the cannon he's been working on now just needs ammunition. There's a rumor that some of Boom's pyro sticks shot off and are out there roaming free. You should keep an eye on the horizon for pyros. If you're fast, Boom has named the place Puff Duff Bluff. It sounds silly, but it's an accurate description considering most of the pyros are duds, seeing as they're as old as the old world.